That's your name?
No, I thought we could go live from StreamYard.
Not on Instagram. No, we live.
Okay, good afternoon. I am Jaria Lynch. I am one of the special projects coordinators here at the Virgin Islands Council on the Arts. Along with me today is Cecilia Kelch, the executive director here at the Council on the Arts. And then we have Miss Akila Fred. She is the director of vendor management at Property and Procurement. So she's here today to explain the DUNS number process and the SAM.gov registration process. So the reason why she's here, we just want to stress the importance of having a DUNS number and getting it registered. This is the first step in even applying for the grant. If you don't have this information, we can't process your payment, we can't accept your grant. So it's very important to get this information done before August 31st, before you even try to apply. So she's gonna take you through the process of that. It's not a hard process. It might seem like it is, but it's really not. So she's gonna explain it a little bit more.
Am I able to share screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so hi, I am Akila Fred, the Director of Vendor Management at Property and Procurement. As she mentioned, the DUNS process is very easy. So I have a few job aids to help you guys follow along. I'm going to share my screen. And just let me know when you guys can see it. Are you able to see my screen? Are you able to see my screen?
Let me check. No, we can't see a screen.
No? Are you able to see it now?
Yeah, I think we can see it now. What is the DUNS number?
Yes.
Yes, we can see it now.
Okay, so the DUNS number is a recipient of federal funds. So if you are being paid with federal funds through the government of the Virgin Islands, you would require a DUNS number. So the DUNS number is the first step before you can get a SAM.gov registration. So you can't get SAM without a DUNS. So the process is very easy. The website is dnb.com. When you go there, this is the screen. This is what it looks like. Below, I have here tabs. So step-by-step tabs to assist you with how to maneuver the system. So the first step would be to begin the DUNS search, which is that option up here in the top left corner. After you select that, the option will be for United States of America as your country/territory. Additional information will be relative to your business, such as your name, the business name, the address, phone number, and email address. The email address must be the same email address that you will be using in the SAM.gov system. If the emails are different, then you will have an issue in the SAM process. You will click on Request a new DUNS number after you've passed the General Information screen. And in the bottom left-hand corner, you will click to request a new DUNS, or if you have a current DUNS, you would have to modify. Bearing in mind that the DUNS number is only good for 3 years, and if it does expire, you will have to start the process over again. So it's very important to make sure that you keep that up to date. There are selected documents that you will have to submit after you've answered all of the general questions relative to your business. The examples for business documents, so if you're an LLC, incorporation, these are the type of documents you're going to have to submit. You would need the articles of incorporation. So it's going to be any two of these documents. It doesn't have to be all of them, any two of them. They must have the same name and physical address. PO boxes are not accepted. So the articles of incorporation, your EIN or TIN confirmation letter, which comes from the IRS. Your trade name certificate. In the continental US, it goes by a DBA or an assumed name certificate, a lease agreement or utility bill. This is only for businesses. When it comes to individuals, which are sole proprietors, people who operate under their names mostly, they can submit a lease agreement, a utility bill, their car insurance, an invoice that they've submitted to someone, or a business license if they have one, if applicable. In this section, it's any two of those as well. So all of the documents does not have to be submitted. Once you've submitted these two documents, the last step is to click continue, enter your email address, the same one you initially entered when you first began the process, and click submit. This normally takes about 24 hours before you can receive the confirmation back. This system is very particular, so exactly what you write in this system also has to be placed in the SAM.gov system. So that's the DUNS process. It's a pretty short process. It's not a lot.
Okay, so I do have a question from Facebook. I don't want to let the questions build up.
Sure.
Someone asked, what if you don't have a business?
Then they will be considered an individual, and they would just need to submit if they have a car insurance, they can submit their car insurance or the utility bill. You don't need a business to get a DUNS number.
Okay, I think that's all the questions we have at this time. For those of you that are watching us online, does anybody have any other questions that they would like to ask Ms. Fred about the DUNS process? Ms. Fred, could you go over again once they get the DUNS, the SAM.gov process?
I didn't do the SAM.gov yet. I just wanted to see if they have any questions with DUNS, and then I would go into SAM.
Okay, well, it looks like we can go ahead because I don't think there's any other questions about the DUNS, at least not at this point.
Okay, so SAM.gov registration would be the second step. Of course, after you're finished with DUNS, you do have to wait a 24 to 48 hour period before you can apply for SAM. SAM is a lot lengthier process, as the questions are relative to your business. So you will have to utilize your previous year's W-2 or W-9, W-2s to fill out this document. So these are more relative to your business. So direct questions as it relates to how much you've made, how many employees you have. Those are the type of questions SAMs ask. So this is an overview, and I can send these to you when I'm finished here. So with SAM.gov, since we've created this, the system has updated. It's the same information once you get in there, but the login page looks completely different than when we originally created this document. So once you get the DUNS, once again, you would go over to SAM using the same information you've entered in DUNS. SAM registration. This is the website, www.sam.gov. Please note that this is a free system, as well as the DUNS system is free. I know that there is a mimic system out there that charges you, but that is not the SAM system. The federal systems are free. So ensure that you are on the correct page before proceeding to put your personal information in there. So the first step in SAM is you would have to create a login.gov from the SAM.gov homepage. Once again, using the same email address initially created with the DUNS number. So once you create that login, you would have to register your entity. That would be the same information that you initially placed in the DUNS system. So you do get a confirmation page from DUNS, and that information you would take directly from there and put it into the SAM system. It is a very particular system. So you have to ensure that if you put Charlotte Amalie as the city, Charlotte Amalie has to be the city in SAM. You cannot put St. Thomas if you already used Charlotte Amalie in the previous system. So ensure that everything is in alignment. So once you get in, you would create an alternate login method, which would be you can either get a text message every time you enter the system. You can use your government ID to log in. They will give you 10 codes if you want to use those 10s, but that is not recommended. We would recommend you to use the one where it sends you a text to your phones. After you've done that, you would select the type of entity, which would be whether you're individual, LLC, incorporation, whatever your business identifies as, you would select the relative radio button. Do you wish to bid on contracts? You would put yes. Then the next option will be to click next. And you would confirm your purpose. And there's two options on that page. The first option on the top that said you would like to bid on contracts and apply for federal funds would be the one you would select. You won't select the one on the bottom because it limits you to what you can do in the system or what you can apply for when you're bidding. Then you would complete your core data, which is the information on your company. And then they're going to ask you to enter your DUNS number. So that number that Duns and Bradstreet provided to you, you'll enter that in that information field, and it's going to pull up your company's information from there. You are going to continue on by clicking the next tab to enter your business information, which is the information that you would find on that IRS tax form that you get if you have an EIN. If you're just an individual, you would just enter your social security number and your name as it is stated on your birth certificate. After you've done that, well, you don't get the cage code until on the end, unless you already have a current SAM.gov registration, you would enter that. But in this case, if you are starting fresh, that option would not apply to you. You would skip that and move to the next tab, which is your general information. It goes back to your business type, your organizational structure, which is how many employees you have, how much you've made, any partners that you might have in your company. That's what that is. The next screen is a must. You must have a bank account routing number in that field. You would enter your bank account routing, the name of the bank, the type of account, etc.
Okay, I do have a question.
Mm-hmm.
They're asking about how do you apply as an individual? She's not seeing it on the site, like the individual wording. But does it have the individual wording, or they still consider an entity?
So once you get to the entity portion, it's going to allow her to select what she or he identifies as. So if they're an individual, there is the option on there to select that they're an individual. It doesn't really differentiate on the system if you're a business or individual in the registration process. You get that more when you get in and you've already entered your company's information or your individual information.
Okay.
Okay, so from there, your executive compensation, like if you have an employee, how much you pay them. And if you don't have the exact estimate, and this is on a broad spectrum, so not just one person. So if you have 2 employees, they want the combined salaries. So you're not going to put it individual, it's going to be combined. And then you're going to continue. When it says complete proceeding details, it's going to be questions like yes or no. It's already pre-filled to no. We keep it as that because those 9 out of 10 doesn't apply to the businesses. So we keep them as no. In that, they also have questions as it relates to if you've been arrested, if you have been in the system, then you would, of course, answer accordingly. It wouldn't disqualify you from anything, but of course, they want you to state, the situation. So then after this, proceeding details, you would complete assertions to include the NAICS codes. There is a list of NAICS codes on the website, and this just identifies the type of business that you are. So if you are a construction business, you would have to locate the appropriate NAICS code to say that you're a construction business. So if there is any need or for anyone in the construction area, they're going to look for you and they're going to pull you and see if you would like to, of course, bid on the project. So that's what that code is for, the NAICS code. We normally don't use the PSC. It's strictly the NAICS codes. Then the next step on this is it goes back to they ask you the same questions in different ways. So go back to the size of your company, any additional information that you wish to include, and disaster relief information. Those questions are speaking to if you've ever done or ever received any type of fundings from SAM.gov to pay for any disaster relief. If you have, you would put that information in there. Then you would submit the documents that in the middle of the process, they ask you for some documents. You would attach those and then move on to the next. You will submit and move on to the next field. These next 3 fields, they would block them out. They aren't editable. So we'll move on from that. You would just review your information, the complete points of contacts, making sure that all of your information is accurate. Once you've reviewed, you can submit. After you've submitted, in about 24 to 48 hours, I know it says 3 to 5 days, but in about 24 to 48 hours, they will send you an email. And the email is going to ask you to confirm and send a few documents over to them just to validate your entity. It's the same documents you submitted to DUNS, is the same ones you will submit here when they send the email. It's not a fraudulent email. Once they send it to you, you do have 24 hours to respond. If you don't respond, then you do have to start the process over. So it's very important to ensure once you have submitted a SAM.gov registration that you are checking your email spam to ensure that it's not going there and that you are responding in an appropriate time frame. If there is any questions or concerns, or if you need any assistance, I'm always here. I can schedule individuals to meet with me in my office to assist them with the process.
Okay, we do have a question from Facebook. Patrice, she's asking, how can I verify that my entity is already in the SAM.gov system?
So she can verify if she has a login for SAM. Well, she would have to create a login. After she's created the login, she would take her DUNS number and she would do a DUNS search in the entity registration portion. If she don't have a DUNS number, 9 out of 10, she don't have a SAM.gov registration. And next thing is she could type the name of her business in, and if it shows up, it's going to tell you if it's active or if it's inactive.
Okay, I don't see any more questions through Facebook. Yeah, I don't see any more, no more questions from Facebook. Okay. So anything else from you, Miss Fret?
Well, I just want to let everyone know if they do have any issues once they're doing their SAM.gov or DUNS registration, they can always reach out to me. Once again, I work at the Department of Property and Procurement. My phone number there is 340-774-0828, extension 4323. So if you need any assistance, I will assist you.
Okay, can you say the number one more time so I could put it on Facebook?
340-774-0828, extension 4323.
Okay, thank you so much for this information.
It's my pleasure. You have a good day.
You too. Okay, so I do want to stress the part where she said if they're asking for payment, it's usually fraud. A lot of grantees call and they're saying someone is offering them $400 to assist them. It's a completely free process, and all of the information that she shared today, it's on our website, vicouncil.arts.org. We have the same step-by-step guide on the DUNS number and then how to register the number on SAM.gov. So we have the same form on our website right now. Okay, so right now I'm going to turn it over to Director Kelch.
Good afternoon. Welcome to our How to Apply workshop. I also want to reiterate with the SAM.gov process in case anybody missed it. It's not going to ask business or individual. It's just going to ask for whatever entity it is. So if you are an individual artist, please go ahead and apply and just put in your information as if you were a business. And if you have any questions, you can also give us a call at the council. Okay, so. Put my PowerPoint together. Okay. Start search. Okay. So some general information. Virgin Islands Council on the Arts is the primary funding agency for the arts in the Virgin Islands. We receive funding from the National Endowment for the Arts. Funds are distributed among the 3 islands. We have 2 application deadlines. August 31st, which is the annual grant, which is what we're getting ready to process in August, and January 31st, which is the mini grant. General eligibility. You must be VI based. Your program must be VI based. The monies are given to us to the NEA to generate our economy here in the Virgin Islands. You must be in existence and active in the Virgin Islands for at least 2 years at the time of the application. You must be a nonprofit organization with current nonprofit status registered with the Office of the Lieutenant Governor. So you will be required to submit your documents supporting that. Verification of your agency's nonprofit status must be submitted in writing. You must have a tax-exempt identification number. And this is pertaining to, of course, organizations. If you have not received your nonprofit status, an application can be submitted under an umbrella agency like St. Croix Foundation or Community Foundation. First-time applicants must submit a W-9 form in their application package. All awarded grantees are required to come into VICA's office to sign. Well, we no longer require this because everything is on the system now. So I do encourage, if you do get awarded, once you get your award letter in the mail, as soon as you get it, we advise that you sign it so that it can come back to us. As soon as we get that letter, back signed from you that voucher, we can process your payment. Failure to do that will definitely delay processing of your documents and receipt of your check. Your project must take place between November 1st and July 30th of the following year. Applicants are only available on our website. Applications are only available on our website. There's no hard copy. Everything is done. You upload all your documents, your photos, everything that you have pertaining to your grant gets uploaded onto the website, the application on the site. And your application should clearly outline how you're going to spend VICA funds, and your budget must correspond with that. And once again, you must have a DUNS number and a SAM.gov registration before you apply for the grant. Please don't wait to apply. Don't apply for the grant and then try to get your DUNS number and SAM.gov registration. Program categories, we're very excited to announce that we have increases this year. Our general operating support for organizations has gone up to $15,000. Project support has gone up to $7,000. Arts and education has gone up to $5,000. Arts and underserved communities, $5,000. Technical assistance up to $2,000, and mini grants up to $2,000. And let me reiterate, all this information that we're giving you today, you can go on the website and find it as well. For organizations, when you apply, you should have your job descriptions, your resumes, and other pertinent information on all personnel that's going to be participating in the project. This is your artistic resumes. We need a list of organization board members and staff, your financial statement and or annual report for your previous fiscal year if applicable, articles of incorporation and bylaws, IRS letters of tax exemption, a list of activities with dates and locations. And if this changes, we ask that if anything changes with your grant once you're awarded, we ask that you just shoot us an email or a letter and letting us know so that you don't have any problems when you submit your final report. And once again, you must have your DUNS and SAM.gov registration. We cannot express how important that is. For individual grantees, you must be active in the VI for a minimum of 2 years at the time of application. We need, once again, job description, resumes, anything pertinent to the personnel that's going to be participating in your project. If your project is to take place in or on a school campus, we need a letter of endorsement from the school principal. This must be included in the grant application. You must have submitted, if you got awarded previously, you must have a final report submitted on time. And once again, you need to have your DUNS number and SAM.gov registration. Matching funds. So all our grants must be matched with a combination of cash and in-kind services. So if you apply for $2,000, you should have $2,000 worth of in-kind and cash to match. So technically your grant would be $4,000. Your in-kind services may be a percentage of the following: space rentals. So if you're doing a project out of your home, you would, if you had to rent it from somebody, what would be a percentage of what you would pay for this rent? Loan of equipment, contribution of services. If you had somebody wrote the grant for you, or somebody's doing your accounting, or somebody's giving you free materials, you can use this as part of your in-kind match. Contribution of materials. In-kind service must be based on fair market value and have direct value to the project. So your in-kind services has to be directly related to the project that you're applying for. VICA does not fund organizations without nonprofit status, projects that have been completed or in progress, grantees who have not submitted final reports from previous grants, building renovation or capital expenditures, bad debt, entertainment costs, fines and penalties, scholarships, legal fees, instruments and equipment with a lifespan to exceed 1 year, individual after-school tuition or full-year tuition. We do, however, fund in summer intensives, summer workshops, things like that, but we don't fund scholarships to schools or tuition or after-school tuition. The board is the sole entity that reviews your grants. The board, myself and the staff, we do not. Okay, we have a question here. Okay, the question is to define active in the Virgin Islands. You have to be an actual resident living in the Virgin Islands for the period of time that you apply for the grant. So you have to be here contributing in the economy, working, living, functioning as an artist here in the Virgin Islands. The monies from the NEA is strictly for enhancing the artistic and cultural life of the Virgin Islands. I know sometimes we have a lot of artists that are away that ask, well, if I'm a Virgin Islander, why can't I apply? And we're always told to direct you to the Art Council wherever you reside. So if you're in the state of Maryland or the state of New York, then that Art Council should be able to assist you. But the federal monies that we receive are for persons that reside in the Virgin Islands. So you live here, you have a Virgin Islands address, you pay taxes here, you function solely in the Virgin Islands. You may, however, if you reside in the Virgin Islands and you have a project that you're taking abroad, that is a possibility. That's something that can be funded, but it can't be vice versa. And so back to review criteria, I hope that I answered the question. The board is the only entity that reviews the grants. The staff and myself, we do not have a say in who is awarded a grant. We basically make sure that your grant is put together and you have all the documents needed for the board to make a decision. The board makes a decision based on artistic merit, integrity, and quality of the project, professional nature and stability of the organization and individual, your ability to carry out the project for which the funds are being requested, the applicant's ability to match funding. Please do not submit a grant that does not have matching funds. You will not be awarded. You have to show an investment in your project. Demonstration of sound management, financial planning, and appropriate allocation of funds, community interest in and or demonstrated need for the program, demonstration of accessibility of projects and facilities to elderly, children, and disabled, completeness and clarity of the application package, and other criteria deemed important by the board. Let me go back to the one about accessibility. We really want to make sure that everybody has access to your projects and your programs. So please keep in mind that when you're writing your projects, I know a lot of venues in the Virgin Islands are not necessarily handicap accessible. So we ask that when you are selecting your venues and you're selecting your programs, you keep in mind that sector of community, that sector of people in our community. Writing a good narrative. Writing a good narrative. This can make or break your application. If the board does not understand what it is that you're trying to do, because your narrative has not been written clearly, that's a problem. I always recommend that you stay away from the fluff and just get straight to the meat and potatoes. What is the project program for the funds are requesting? What specifically will the funds be requested for? You're having a dance program, you need money for dancers, you need stipends for the students, you need money for your venue. Please be as specific as possible. You don't want the board asking questions that can't be answered by your narrative. Will you be able to implement your project if VICA does not fund it 100%? Will the project continue after funding is utilized? What impact do you see your project having on the community? As much information towards your project that you can put so that Once again, the board doesn't have to ask questions. They're not confused. They understand clearly what it is that you've written. You are more likely to get awarded close to most of what you're asking for than not. Okay, please clarify matching funds, someone else pledging support for an arts and education program. Yes, so matching funds. Matching funds is donating their services. If you're taking money out of your own pocket, anything that's going to help you get to this, if we're using 5,000, anything that's going to get you to the 5,000 mark to meet your match. So if you're asking VICA for 5, you should have 5 to match it. So yes, to answer the question, if somebody is sponsoring this project and they're giving you a portion of money towards the project, then that can be used as a match. Okay, I think we have some other questions. Okay. So final report package. For your final report is also going to be uploaded into the same portal. When you go into the portal, and Ms. Lynch will explain that a little more after me, when you go into the portal and you create your registration, this is going to be where everything is done. You'll get emails from VICA telling you if you're missing something, you need something, your final report is due. You'll go and you'll click on the link, you'll upload all your information into this portal for your final report and for your grant. So for your final report, we need cancel checks or receipts, invoices showing that you paid whomever you said you're going to pay. We need photographs, as much photographs, program posters, as much documentation as you can upload to show that you had this program. We're always trying to celebrate our grantees and all the great things they're doing, and we never seem to get these pictures. We want your pictures, we want your programs, your posters. If you send us your information, we can advertise whatever it is that you're having done so that the community can come. We always do a really good job on that. So please don't just get the grant and then forget about us. Keep us involved. There is a tagline that should go on your projects, on your programs, your posters, your advertisement, letting people know that you got money from VICA and from the NEA. And like I said, you know, the photographs, we're always celebrating on our website, on in our annual reports, on our Facebook page. We like to share the awesome work that our grantees are doing. So please help us help you by sharing with us your photographs. So now I know I probably was talking really fast and you probably still have a lot of questions and you may not have an opportunity to ask them now, but everything that I talked about plus more is on our website. It's www.vicouncilonarts.org. Or you can give us a call at St. Thomas office 774-5984 or the St. Croix office 773-3075. We have voicemail. If you can't get somebody, leave a voicemail, somebody will call you back. You can also shout out to us on our Facebook page, or you can email us at www.vicouncil. No, that's not it. I don't remember what the, oh, VICouncil. I don't remember the web. Oh my goodness, I just had a moment. So Miss Lynch will let you know what the web the email address is for the Council on the Arts, and you can reach out to us via phone, via email, via social media, and somebody will get to you and assist you. You can also come into the office for technical assistance with your grants or with your SAM.gov. And it was a pleasure talking to you guys. And I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Lynch, who will now go over the grant portal, which is the most important part because that's where you're going to be uploading your information for your grant.
Hello again. I am Jaria Lynch, one of these special projects coordinators here at the VI Council on the Arts. So what I'm going to be going over today is where you can actually find the application, what it looks like, how to submit it, stuff like that. Okay, so the first thing, the application is found online, and our website is www.vicouncilonarts.org. So when you get there, you go to grant program and services and you click on grant application. That's where I'm at right now. You click on grant application, complete now. I already have an account, but I'm going to sign out just so you can see what it would look like. This is what it would look like. We have the programs that we have available at the moment. You would always see them down here on the programs. At this moment, we only have the annual grant, but in January or maybe in December, when we open them, you will see the mini grant and the technical assistance grant. So those will be listed down here. We do have some more information. We have discretionary grants available as well. Those are year round at the director's discretion. But we have all the information that you can find. We have the grant guidelines, we have how to apply, and then we have the DUNS number information here, funding categories. So before you apply, we encourage you to just take a look at these things, the different criteria that we require. If you're an individual artist, you must be a resident and active in a VI for a minimum of 2 years. VICA does not fund. So we have a lot of information on the site that you can just check out. How to apply information, what you would need to include in your grant package, the DUNS number, and then funding categories. It explains the category that you would fall into. If you are an organization, you typically apply for general operating support, which is up to $15,000. If you're an individual, you can apply for project support, arts and education, arts and underserved communities, and then technical assistance and mini grants. Those are available in August, so you don't have to worry about those number 5 and 6 at this moment. Okay, so once you get to the login portal, it's going to ask you to register. You can register as an individual or an organization. It's just your first name, your last name, your email address, and your password. Remember this information. If you do get locked out, we can always reset you, but it's good to just write it down and always have, a note of it. So I'm going to log into my account as an applicant. Because I already created an account, you won't see what I saw when I first applied, but I'm going to show you what it looks like. It's going to ask you to fill out an eligibility quiz. And this is what it will look like if you're applying as an individual. It's going to ask you, are you an individual or an organization? Do you have an active DUNS number? Are you a resident of the VI? Have you submitted a final report if previously funded by VICA? If you answer these questions incorrectly, it would not let you go to the next step. So if you've gotten money from VICA before and you did not submit your final report form and you select no to this, it won't let you go ahead. And if you're applying as an organization, the question would change, to meet an organization. But if you answer these questions wrong or if you misunderstood, you can always go back and update your eligibility profile. Okay, so right now I'm eligible to apply for the VICA annual grant. I'm going to click on more. And then I'm going to click on apply. So it's showing that we have 3 tasks to complete. I have the application form. I have to upload my supporting documents, and I have to upload a W-9 form. Okay, so this is what the application form looks like. It seems long, but it's really not long. It's asking you, are you applying as an individual or organization, your address, a contact person, phone numbers, your applicant status, are you an individual, a nonprofit, a government agency, your tax ID, your DUNS number. This is where, it's important to have your DUNS. If you don't fill this in, you can go through to the next step. The narrative would go here and the amount that you're asking for. I guess I'm just going to fill it out so we can move on to the next step. Now, I'm an individual, so I can ask for up to $7,000. If I go over $7,000, it's not going to accept my application. Okay, so it's going to tell me that I'm missing something. So if you're missing anything, just go back in and correct it. I'm missing my physical address. And my number was put in incorrectly. Okay, and I have a question on Facebook. I was going to address this from Amber. Can multiple people work on a grant application for an organization, or should one person be assigned the task? When you create your account, if you're an organization and an individual, you can apply as an individual and an organization. So instead of creating two accounts, what you can do is create two applications under one account. Just set up an organization account. So you would go to your account and you would go to preferences and you would set up an organization. So you set up your organization name, the address, the city, the phone, and the website. So you'll be allowed to apply with two applications under one account.
I think she wants to more than one person from the organization for one.
And then you can always share it. You can always share the information with anyone in your organization. But for those that are applying as an individual and an organization, we recommend that you do it this way instead of having two accounts. Okay, this is what the next page would look like. This is just demographic information. Are you applying for project support in arts and education, arts in underserved communities? Your applicant institution. Are you a performing group, a museum, or art organization? Yes, multiple people can log in and edit. It's just whoever you share your information with for the question on Facebook. So anyone can work on your application. Just give them your login information. Your applicant discipline, the dates of your project, the location and population benefited. Your organization, it does have to be a nonprofit. We don't fund for-profit organizations. Okay, so I'm actually gonna go and pull up an application that we had online. Okay, so we have the application of Caribbean Museum Center. And this is our application that's completely filled out. Like I said, you will put in what you're applying as, your information, your mailing address, your phone number, your narrative, the amount of requests. They applied for $10,000 last year. His category of support, which is project support, his dates, his accessibility checklist, and this is what the director was going over, your budget. Okay, so you break down, he asked for $10,000, his overall expenses. They can be more than $10,000, but VICA will only fund $10,000 worth of this project. So your expenses can be whatever amount is gonna cost. You just portion out $10,000 for VICA. The in-kind section, and then you go to your budget breakdown. We have two sections. One section is funded by VICA, and then the other section is funded by other sources. We have a question from Facebook. Can domestic nonprofit organizations apply without 501c3 status? Someone answered it. No, you have to have 501c3 status. Okay, so like I was saying, you have a section that's funded by VICA and funded by other sources. You're funded by other sources. That can be any number that you want it to be. Once you're funded by VICA section adds up to be what you're asking us for. So if you're asking us for $10,000, you can't exceed $10,000. And you can break that down however much you want it. So he's asking for 10,000. So he put 2,000 in personnel, 4,500 to personal artistic, 300 in travel costs, and then 3,200 in remaining operating expenses. So at the bottom, it adds it up for you automatically. At the bottom, he has 10,000 funded by VICA, and then his funded by other sources is 13,500. So that is his 1-to-1 match. That exceeds his 1-to-1 match. Okay, so that's what the application looks like. And then you go ahead and you upload your supporting documents. If you're an artist, you would submit, your lyrics, a demo for the board to hear, just any information that would help us understand who you are better. You would upload that information here. And then you upload your W-9 form. Okay. So that would be the end of your 3 tasks. Once the board meets in September, you will get an email from us, either accepting you or denying you. But if you are awarded, this is what the grant contract looks like. You would sign back into this account. Everything can be found in this account. You just initial your grant contract that you accept these terms. And then you would sign your voucher. Okay. So once we get this information, we process everything, you get your check, and then we will see you again in August 1st to submit your final report form. And the form is online as well. So you fill it out as much as you can, your personnel, your cash match, how much of the grant that you spend. You should have spent the full thing. So he spent $10,000 of his grant. So he put 10,000. And then once again, your demographic information, how many individuals benefited, the population, benefited by race. There's really no right or wrong answers for these. You sign it, and then you upload your documentation that your project has been completed, which is receipts, pictures, check stubs, anything that shows that you spent this money. Okay, so you put that information here. He submitted some receipts. I don't want to go too much into his information, but he submitted all of his documents to show that he spent $10,000. Okay, and then that would be it for the grant application process. He did the application, he got awarded, he submitted his final report form in August, and that's it. Okay, so any questions for me? Okay, so I don't have any questions on Facebook. But like I said, you can find all this information online, the funding categories, the grant guidelines, it's all online. And if you need it, just give us a call. St. Thomas, the number is 774-5984, and St. Croix is 773-3075. Okay, so I think that's it for us. I don't have. Okay, and this video, it will be up online on Facebook. We leave it up on Facebook for you to take a look at it after. So we will have it online for you to view. And the next one will take the next How to Apply workshop. It will take place on August 20th, virtually as well. But if you have any questions between them, you can always just give us a call or come into the office and we'd be glad to help. Okay. So thank you for joining us today. And we'll see you next time.